What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house again. Man, I know y'all was like, man, I wonder what happened to old boy. I know y'all was thinking that. What happened to old boy? He came to us after the Super Bowl. Ain't seen him no more. Look, man, after the Super Bowl season was over, I was kind of down in the dumps a little bit, man. Season's over, college over, pro, excuse me. Excuse me. Pro football season is over, so I was kind of down in the dumps a little bit. Did some other things, spent some time at the house, did some things, piddled around, concentrate on some other things. But there's a few things in the NFL started to jump off, and I was like, shoot, let me get back in this thing. Boy, y'all thought I was gone, but yeah, I ain't going nowhere. But couple of things, man. I want to talk about. Go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Hit the notification bell so you will get firsthand knowledge when I get drop another video. So I'm drop a couple of videos. So there's a couple of things we're going to talk about in this video. There's a couple other things we're going to talk about in other subsequent videos. So I'll make some of the videos a little shorter, more of them and more shorter. I think some of the algorithms are better if you have shorter videos. Folks see a 35, 40-minute video and they're like, oh no, I can't listen to that. I ain't got time for that. So we'll make them a little shorter. So we'll talk about smaller things and keep them short and sweet. So first thing I was going to talk about, kind of a sad thing in so many kind of ways, because it kind of what it mean, he means to me as a in the age bracket that I'm in. I kind of identify with him and all of his and what he's doing, and so we'll talk about Coach Prime, Coach Deion Sanders, and I go back. I don't know him. I've met him, once or twice. He coaches Jackson State, and they play out the team. They play the HBCU that's in the city that I live, and so he was here, and they beat us on homecoming pretty bad, and I got a chance to run across him and whatnot. So, but Deion goes back to he was drafted, I think, '89. We're about the same age. So most of the time when I in my 20s and whatnot, he was playing, so we were kind of in the same. So I kind of followed his career, getting drafted out of Florida State in 1989. he had that Jerry curl going, the chains and the shades. He had it going, boy. Kind of didn't like him too much things. I thought he was a little arrogant, a little had a little too much going on, a little too much sauce on the pizza, if you know what I mean. And he got drafted by the Falcons. They know that the Detroit Lions was going to pick him, but he was like, now, I'm going to ask for so much money, the Detroit Lions will have to put me on layaway. They didn't have rookie pay scale at that time. Okay, that didn't come around to like 2009, 8 or 9 or something like that. So he ended up going to the Atlanta Falcons. And the Detroit Lions, interestingly enough, took Sanders also. They took Barry Sanders. It was the same draft. That's a heck of a draft, don't you think? So he's with the Falcons, and they had they went to the playoffs a few years in that run, and he was prime time, and you see him high stepping with the interceptions and stuff, and I'm like, hey, dude can play. And then he played from the Falcons from '89 to I think '93, and then he ended up going to the 49ers as a mercenary. They won the Super Bowl, beating the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. He did interfere with Michael Irvin. I ain't going to talk about that. Then he ended up going to the Cowboys as definitely a transfer of power there. And we ended up going to the Super Bowl and winning it in '95. And he played from the Cowboys from '95 to, I believe, '99. So he played there 5 years. Then he played, I think, a year with the Washington Redskins, now the Washington Commanders, and I think the Baltimore Ravens for like a year or two. I think he retired in like 2002, 2003, sometime in there. And in my opinion, the greatest cornerback to ever play. One of the greatest to ever play in the NFL. He and Bo Jackson, will get my vote. But and I never forget, man, when he's playing with the Falcons, he also was playing for the New York Yankees, and he was being helicoptered from Atlanta to New York to play. You know, if the Falcons had a game at one point of the day and the Yankees had a game that night, he would go by helicopter and go. You know, that's how we thought that's the craziest thing. He played both sports, you know, and so. You know, man, and I got a lot of respect for Prime. I mean, I didn't like him as much at first, but he kind of got calmed down a little bit. And I mean, he talked a lot of junk, but he's the man. And so after his football career was over, he started doing some AAU ball, coaching his sons and different things like that. And then so now, as of year before last, he became the head coach of the Jackson Tigers, you know, of the HBCU, Jackson, Mississippi, the same school Walter Payton went through, and he was the SWAC Coach of the Year last year with 13-4. But now throughout his playing career, he had a injury called turf toe, and I looked it up, and I know he was talking about it. And I said, "What is it?" I thought it was something where you had a sort of akin to like an ingrown toenail. You know, like when you play on turf, you know, it's so fast. I was thinking that your toe would run up into the end of your, you know, you would peel the skin back under your toe and it would cause some inflammation that way. That's what I thought it was. But oh no, it's nothing like that. And so it says here, turf toe is an injury to the big toe joint when ligaments and tendons tear. And the joint stretch and tear. It is a common injury among football players and athletes who sprint or jump. Turf toe usually gets better with rest, ice, or over-the-counter pain relievers. Severe turf toe injuries may need surgery. And I noticed a few games during the season that I would see Coach Prime on the sidelines in a wheelchair on one of those motorized. And I was saying he was, you know, having you know, his feet taken care of, and he would have surgeries, and he had, you know, a little setback, and he had surgeries and different things. So I was like, well, gee, you know, and so come to find out, we found out on yesterday that after several surgeries, I mean, to hear him tell it, there was a story written on cowboysi.com. Through my man Mike Fisher, that he was talking about, man, it got so serious that they were talking about, because what had happened is he'd had so many surgeries in it that the blood was not clotting in it, and circulation was being a problem. And throughout the many surgeries, and I'm thinking there was some nerve things going on and stuff, and so they said there's a possibility he could lose the leg that foot was on. I think it's his left leg. Or he could die if they don't get this thing taken care of. So after much to do, they ended up, and that kind of hurt my heart too, because and they ended up having to amputate 2 of his toes. And I saw there's a video, there's a picture on cowboysi.com that they did, and it shows like the before, and it's the big toe and the second toe. You can see the surgical sutures in there where you know, before, you know, this is before. And you could look at him, he's like, dang, he must have had several surgeries on there because of stitches and stuff. But and I'm like, man, if you have never got a chance to watch Deion Sanders play, man, that was a tremendous athlete. I think he ran like a 4.21, 4.2 something 40, and is the fastest man. He would let guys beat him, the bait guys into throwing the pass. And you know, I saw my man Trayvon Diggs, you know, do that a couple times this year. Let the quarterback think he open, and then get that closing speed and come up and high point it, come down with it. He would do that many times, and then hold the ball up so you can see I got it. He did Brett Favre like that a couple times. Hold that thing up, like say, yeah, look what I got. This is what I got. Put it down, and get about the 15-yard line. He get the high stepper. Man, if you never got a chance to watch Deion Sanders play, man, I mean, he was a special player, man. He is the best cornerback, best cover corner ever. He would literally cut off one half of the field. Nobody would even attempt to throw on his side of the field. And so that was, you know, and he was just special. But man, my heart and prayers go out to him as he deals with this. And And he mentioned something in the article. He said, man, it finally hit me as I looked down and saw that what used to be, you know, this great, you know, statuesque foot. It's missing parts and pieces and stuff. And, you know, that just hurt my feelings, man. But anyway, that's one of the things I want to cover today and talk about DEION. And, you know, that's one of my favorite athletes of all time. And, man, and so as we're talking about what he did in his 40 times, that's going to transition me to, you know, last week they had the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, Indiana, you know, and there's a couple things that I heard about on there, couple things, and I'm going to show you, talk about two different guys that were in the Combine, you know, similar size and components, but chose to do the Combine two different ways. And I'll raise up to you Evan NEAL, who's the all everything left tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, number 73, and defensive tackle Jordan Davis from Georgia. Okay, both of them around the same size. Evan NEAL 6'7 3/4, 341 pounds. Both of them got 34-inch arms, 10 point something, 1.8-inch hands. And so, yeah, Evan NEAL has 10.18. Yeah, he had 10 inches and 1/8 of an inch hands. Arm length is 34. Wingspan 83 and all this sort of stuff. But let me tell you something. Evan NEAL, who was projected by Bucky, Daniel Jeremiah, and Zerline, a couple of you know, guys that, you know, do the draft. He's projected on all of the draft boards to be the number one pick, to supposedly be picked by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you got, and so, you know, all the things shows, you know, he's, you know, going to be the number one pick. Jacksonville Jaguars need offensive line help. He's the best offensive lineman, I think, in the, you know, out of college, him and the guy from Iowa and whatever. And so when they got to the Combine, you know, and then Jordan Davis, the big bulldozer defensive lineman, defensive tackle from Georgia. Okay. Evan NEAL, 6'7 3/4, 341 pounds. Jordan Davis, 6'6, 341. Virtually the same size. Okay. Now, Evan NEAL didn't do any 40 drills, didn't do any bench presses, didn't do any high jump, broad jumps, or any of that stuff. He didn't do any of that stuff. All right. All right. And so, but you see Jordan Davis. There is a video of Jordan Davis running the 40. This man, 341 pounds. This dude ran a 4.78 40 at 341. You see me looking at you like I'm looking, right? This man, 340, and ran a 4.78 40. Let me give you some instances on that. Tom Brady ran like a 5'1", 5'2", okay, as quarterback, okay? Patrick Mahomes ran a 4'8", okay, as a quarterback at like 225 pounds, okay? This dude's got him about 110 pounds and ran a 4.78, okay? And then watch him do the cones, going in and out of the cones. That dude is as agile as I ever seen a dude at 340 pounds. It looked like he could go back in coverage if he wanted to. Now, he did all of those things, and I think he did some bench presses and different things like that. But there's a reason why he did that, because most draft prognosticators had him going in a later first round, okay? Evan NEAL was projected as a first-round pick. Now, if you go out there and you run a 5 40 or 5'1" 40 or something like that, you get off to a bad start, you might mess up your draft stock. You already at number one, so don't do nothing to mess up your stock. But if you are mid to low first-round pick like Jordan Davis, so they had him going as low as the New England Patriots at like 27, I think some of them had the Cowboys getting him at 24. Not Patriots at 20. I think the Patriots like 22 or something like that. But with that, with his agility drills that he was doing, picking the cones up and picking the little shuttle drill and the cone drills and all that kind of stuff. If you watch that stuff, that dude, he done increased his draft stock by a whole lot, man. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you. There's two different dudes, same size. They will be probably going against each other on the line of scrimmage. But you got one guy that's playing it safe because he's already projected as the number 1 draft pick, and I'm not gonna mess that up by getting out there doing something and it don't work out good. And you got Jordan Davis is like, no, let me show these fools what I can do. And so a couple other guys I thought was interesting. Wide receiver from Baylor, TYQUAN Thornton, who this year caught 62 passes for 948 yards and 10 touchdowns for Baylor, who won the Big 12, taking the title game from Oklahoma State. He ended up running a 4.28, and it was adjusted down to a 4.21 40. Dude, do you know how fast that is? All right. So these are guys you're going to need to look for when you talk about speed receivers to get drafted. If your team gets them or whatnot. TYQUAN Thornton out of Baylor. Chris Olave. Of course, we know about Chris Olave from Ohio State. He ran a 4.26, which 4.39, which they kind of there was something going on with the clocks. There was a little. I don't know. They were trying to say the times were a lot faster than they really should have been, so they got some exaggerated times. I think Thornton's at 4.21, maybe a little and then so it said 4.28, which said 4.28 is still like stupid fast, Chris Olave ran a 4.39, and also Garrett Wilson, who was projected. See, Chris Olave is really not even the highest projected wide receiver from Ohio State. That would be Garrett Wilson, who ran a 4.38 40 himself. He's projected a higher wide receiver. And then you've got to factor in the dude that got left behind. I think he was a sophomore, cannot remember his name, but he tore it up in the Rose Bowl. And they got that guy coming back. And remember, the guy left the program, Jameson Williams, got to Alabama and caught like 90 passes for 90 passes for like 1,600 and something yards and like 15 touchdowns. So, I think Alabama's is wide receiver U, but it may end up being Ohio State. Might have to give them that. But there's just some couple of guys I thought would be, interesting to talk about, in the combine, some other things. But you can't talk about all of them. But that's just some things that caught my eye in these weeks, from before we talk. And the last thing we're going to talk about is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, superstar quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals, drafted in 2018 out of Oklahoma, Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 pick, and we know he, took the Arizona Cardinals to the playoffs this year for the first time in several years. I think since like 2015, if I'm not mistaken. And they and I'll give you his numbers. He completed 69.2% of his passes, which I think is second or third in the league to Joe Burrow. I think he's like 70%. 69.2%, 3,787 yards, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Remember, he missed like 4 games this season. And so we know they lost, I think it was like 31-11, I think, in the first round of playoffs to the Rams. And, he didn't look real good, looked indecisive and that sort of thing. But we know at the end of the season, one of the last videos that I did right before the Super Bowl, he had scraped his social media of all Cardinal stuff. Like, what the heck are you doing, dude? And I told you, I don't like this newfangled stuff. I don't know, maybe because I'm a a baby boomer, Generation X guy, whatever. I look at things a whole different way. I think you got a problem with somebody. You go to and talk to your GM or you talk to the owners. You go talk to them and say, hey, what we got going here? Or him and your agent talk. And I think his agent's name is Burkett, Eric Burkhart. You go and talk to them and see what's going on. Then come to find out, and what it comes down to is that he got drafted in 18. He's still on his rookie deal. He's on his 4th year deal. He's going to do to make $5.5 million, I think, this upcoming year. But I think he want his money now. He won't go on and I'm not playing it out to the 5th year. And then they play the 4th year. Then the team can pick up your 5th year option and make you play that too. Like they're doing Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, who got drafted the year before him. He still hadn't got paid. Okay, and also Lamar Jackson, who got drafted in the same year, the year before him, who's still on his rookie contract. Now him is a different thing. I think his mom is his agent. He had to go and get his money because the style of play that he plays, he's going to get his money. But Kyler Murray has basically told him, look, bro, I'm, and it's almost like, look, if y'all fool around and don't do what I need you to do, go and do it. I might not play. And I think that's a bad play, man. I really do. I really think that's a bad play. I know a lot of you youngsters say, yeah, man, go get your money. Do that, man. Make the man pay you, man. And I'm like, yeah, but you got to see this from the other side of the coin also. First of all, he's a small dude. He's like 5'9" and like 210 or whatever. He's little. And, he's prone to get hurt in this. And just face it, the last couple of years, they have not looked good down the stretch. Does he wear them? Remember, last year, 2020, they were 6-3 after that Hail Murray when he threw it to Hopkins in the end zone against Buffalo. The Hail Murray. They were 6-3 at that point. Don't you know they went 2-5 the rest of the season? This particular season, 2021, they were 7-0 and were Super Bowl favorites. Okay, and the rest of the season they went 4-6. Okay, so as an organization, before I commit $100 million to you, don't we need to see are you progressing? Are you getting better? Are you making your reads better? Are you taking care of yourself? I need to see those things before remember, they made Dak Prescott pay the thing all the way out. And I'm not trying to say they on the same level. I don't know. I mean, I think Dak would won a playoff game, and have taken a team 13-3, been in the playoff 3 times. Okay. So, had won a playoff game before they paid it. Okay. Baker Mayfield has yet to win a game, have yet to get paid. He's actually won a playoff game. Lamar Jackson done won a playoff game. He ain't got paid. They all want rookie deals. Okay. So I don't know, man. I think and see what the play you gotta play you gotta take it you gotta take a page out of the Dak Prescott playbook. And I know he wants to go ahead and get that $45 million a year or whatever, like Dak's making, like Josh Allen is making, like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers got another deal. We're gonna talk about that in another video. Like them guys is making, and but dude, I mean, but you got to look at it from this. You got to play it the Dak Prescott angle, okay? If you just hold on, the price tag just gonna go up. And see, I fault the Cowboys for not locking Dak up after he won that first playoff game in 18. They could have got him for like 26 million a year. They could have got his whole contract for under $100 million. All right. But no, we want to wait. Okay. Wait. Okay. It's fine. They got to see, the maturity and all this kind of stuff. Dak still got some issues and whatnot, but I think he's a good quarterback, and I think it's as good as you're gonna do right now, unless you want to start over. So yeah, and pretty much Kyler Murray got them in the same place because they remember what they was like before Kyler Murray got there. They weren't a player. They were garbage. They were a bad franchise. They were 3 wins. That's why they was able to get him. So I think they need to go on and pay him. But I think him forcing their hand is not a bad look. It's not a good look. Makes him look like, and then there's some nut stuff going on where he don't, not watching film. He not, I don't know if that's a smear campaign. I don't know if they do that sometimes. But dude, take it from the Dak Prescott handbook. Okay, you can wait. It's gonna cost you. Mike was gonna sign for $41 million in 4 years this year. You sign me next year, it's gonna be 47. Keep on going on, it's gonna be 52. The longer you wait, especially when that new money kick in, oh no, ain't nobody taking no hometown discounts when that new money kick in. That salary cap go up above that 218 million cap. Bro, I think he's a little immature for my taste. This whole social media, taking all the stuff off of your Twitter, off of your Instagram. Dude, what are you doing, man? And I guess that's what the young folks do. I ain't with none of that. I think it's stupid. I think it's passive aggressive. I think it's, dude, pick up the phone and call folks and see Steve Klein and see what he's talking about and that sort of thing. But we'll see how it goes. But man, because I think the ultimatum is saying, y'all don't pay me, I'm gonna go play baseball. I think that got said. I think that's the sentiment that's been put out there. If you don't pay, you wait if you want to. I'll go play baseball. And then it's been rumored that he's gonna sit out and hold out. So no, man, drama in the NFL. But anyway, man, that's all the stuff I got on this particular video. I'll be hitting you back up with another video here in just a little bit, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports Experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Holler at your boy. We'll catch you on the next video. Y'all take it easy.